It's easy. Simply go to your HSN account and update your communication preference and select your favorite brands. There's over 350 to choose from, so do it today and don't miss out on your favorite brands or shows. All right, so this next item is near and dear to my heart. When we first launched it, I bought it the day we launched it, and it completely sold out, and we've actually had a really tough time getting it back. What happened, we got it back, and it didn't come with the twirl. This is such a key component to the success of the Gemini 2. The Gemini 2 is an embossing and die cutting system that it's brilliant. It's the one I use. I actually had the original Gemini. I donated it because this had so many upgrades to it. I bought this when we launched it, and it's back, and it has our twirling mechanism, which we'll talk about in just a second. When I bought it, it did not come with her adorable little vacuum cleaner, so I'm a little jealous today. And when I bought it with all of that included, it did not come with 2 dies and 2 embossing folders. You're getting everything you see on my table, including all the plates you've seen Sarah working with tonight. Now, what's even better, it's $80 off. That's huge, you guys. So $80 off. We have 4 flex pays on this. And again, don't forget, you will only spend $7.50 to ship your entire crafting order today. So $7.50 ships everything today. This is a great time to get a great machine. So sorry, you know, I loved your original Gemini for a very long time, but for me, it was kind of like, well, do I really need to upgrade? You made so many improvements on this one and made it so much more user-friendly that's why I upgraded to the new version.
We did, Suzanne, and for all those of you, because there's like over 150,000 HSN customers own a Gemini machine. So if you're thinking, hang on, what was new in the new version? Do I need the new version? One thing I will be really honest and say, Suzanne, it's the same pressure.
Yes.
So you get the same pressure whether you go for a manual Gemini, the big Pro that we have, the small Mini, they all operate on the same pressure. What you've got here is these upgraded functions. So first of all, it's really sleek and small, right? So it's a small footprint. And what happens is we've got the wings that lift down, which also double up as storage compartments. So you can keep all of your tools in there. And those are going to kind of guide your plates and hold your plates as you're going. Now, a couple of the new features, we now have a full length sensor, which means if you're using your 9-inch wide plate, no problem. But if you upgrade, and well, not upgrade, but if you get the junior plates, or if you have junior plates, which are the small size, you saw me using those small size plates straight through your machine. You were never able to do that in your old Gemini because they basically have to engage the whole sensor. We've now upgraded to an optical sensor, so no matter where you put the plates in, they'll feed through. Also really revolutionary is when they get to the end, Suzanne, and I'll send these plates, so there's no die in here, but you'll see once I send them through, when the plates get to the other side, they're going to feed through. And one of the biggest frustrations people had is the plates get to the end, and if you've run to answer the doorbell or the dog's tuned to me, you've got to go and deal with it, your plates will all fall off the edge. You'll notice the motor's cut out and the plates are held at the back on that platform. That is a really big feature which people have found like life-changing when it comes to your die cutting. So you see all of the twirly stuff that we're doing, Suzanne? That's because all of these now come with this turntable on. And it just makes life so much, it's like crafting in 360 degrees.
It really
because for a lot of you, people don't have the space all over, Suzanne. And it's not like me when I'm demonstrating at HSN and I'm stood up. At home, I sit down at my craft desk, and it just means I can have my Gemini here, I can send my plates through, and then without, this is me imagining I'm sitting down, just so you know, without having to get up and go around and back round and come and get it and then back up and get round, all you do is you stay seated and you just twist your Gemini with one finger and your plates come back to you. And you twist your Gemini with one finger and it moves it back. Now, I don't want you to think that you can take this turntable and pop it onto any other machine. It's actually, the technology is not in the turntable, it's in the sleek profile of the base of the unit. We had to redesign the whole base of the unit so that, can you see, it's almost flat on the bottom. We've got slight raised feet so that the exact size of the turntable, it's a very high quality turntable with the little micro beads in there as well. So you could do all of that turning, right? Now, you'll have heard when those plates went through, it's almost silent. And that is massive upgrades to the technology in the mortar. So the mortar, a lot of people say to us they craft through the night, or they don't want, you know, they can't sleep on an evening and they're crafting, and they don't want to disturb the other people in the house. So we've done that so that it's super quiet. It's also, the upgrades to the mortar mean it's faster. So it's going to go through, it's going to take less time. You've got the same pressure, but it's going to be faster. It's going to be quieter. There's that full length sensor that we talked about. You've got all the same features with the pause and return. This is brilliant, the media stand, Suzanne. If you're anything like me, I craft and I have to have something either up on YouTube, a tutorial, or if you're watching HSN Live, you can now sit with your tablet on the media stand, and on the back of the machine, you've got 3 USB ports. So your Gemini becomes a sub power station. So for a lot of people, you think, well, I can just plug it in. Well, if you're anything like me, I don't have like 10 different plugs all on my craft stage. I've got like a double twin socket. And also you don't want wires everywhere. So if we're crafting and we've got our iPad on the top, plugs into here, I can't be spinning this around and have wires all over it. It'll get wrapped up into a big mess. But by sub-powering it from there, you can easily do that. Now, I'm going to just talk about the extras because, as you said, $299, you can't buy just the machine for $299 anywhere else. And you're right, we are struggling to keep up with the demand. Our factory is kind of outputting them, but so many have to go to America, so many come into Europe, so many go to Australia, and we're still in that. We'd only launched in April last year. We're still in the part whereby we can't make them for any market as fast as they're being sold. But what you get at HSN is you get the machine, you get all of the plates that come included, and then the little vacuum. This is brilliant, Suzanne. It's not for vacuuming up your floors, but if you've got, can you see, when you've done a die and you've knocked all the pieces out the back of the die, you get them all over the table. Don't do what I do and just push them onto the floor and someone else has to clean them up later. You've got this little vacuum now, so you just press the on button and it glides along the surface, and all of your die cut pieces that you're picking up, you've got the vacuum in here and the glide feet so that it can just pick up all your pieces, or bits of glitter, or, you know, maybe you've done sequins, and then once you've picked everything up, everything actually just collects in the little port here. So if it is things like your glitter and your sequins or your shaker pieces, you can then use them to pop into your shaker card. Now, we then designed a new die cutting program, which had these 2 gorgeous dies in. So one that'll take you through the kind of springtime, and then one that'll take you into more Christmas time. And you know that technology, Suzanne, that we just saw with the die cut and the embossing folder?
Yes.
This is exactly the same technology. So that what you've got here is you've got this gorgeous big die. So you're going to cut out this lovely peony, then you're going to pop it into the embossing folder, and then once you run it through the embossing folder, it gives you this effect and finish. So beautiful, beautiful dies. And for anyone that hasn't seen that, I'll run one through so that you can see the kind of technology and how it works. Right, so, I'll use the smaller plate, Suzanne, just for speed so that you can see that full length sensor. Okay. So all we do is we take our base plate. I'm going to cut that lovely peony. So I'll go into the base there. You go on with your clear plate. You've got your magnetic. You've got your top plate here. Now, I'm using the half-size ones just to demonstrate the sensor. However, you can use all the plates that come included. I've given you the big ones so that you can cut everything. The little ones are for those of you who are just wanting to kind of craft quickly on speed.
There's one of the biggest questions we get is, does this play well with other dies and embossing folders? Yes, it does. So if you've got all the other brands we have here at HSN, it's going to play well. Sometimes you have to fiddle with what they call the sandwich layers, but it will. And you know what I love about your instructions? They're simple and they're easy. There's like, you go with an instruction book and I go, oh man, that's a lot of pages. I realize like half of it's in Spanish. So I was like, oh, I only need the first 3 pages. We're good, right? So I love it because it's a simple machine, but yes, Sarah, this will work with other brands, right?
That's the beauty of it, Suzanne. It is a generic, universal die cutting machine. Yes. Die cutting and embossing. So every brand, without exception of thin metal dies, you're going to be able to use with the machine. So no matter what brand, and the reason your instruction booklet's so thin, Suzanne, and so thick, is it gives you the sandwich combinations for die cutting, embossing folders, 3D embossing folders. I mean, this is one of those 3D embossers now, and you can see this is the pressure that Gemini has that other machines can kind of only dream of. But the other manufacturers of dies and folders, Suzanne, they can all make beautiful die cuts and folders that are really intricate like ours. It's just if you haven't got the pressure in the machine, you can't get the benefit. And what I always say is, if you've got a drawer full of dies that you've bought from other companies you've invested in over the years, right? Did you know that all of those dies can cut, even though it's just sold as a paper die, that die has got the right thickness to be able